Holy crap! I don't know how to work this thing. All right, I
What are
unmuted
you
us.
doing?
I unmuted us. Just so you guys know, so don't say anything crazy.
Whoa.
Oh, all right. Yeah, what do I even say? I guess we randomly decided the other night that we were gonna do, we were wanted to do an analysis video, I guess, or a discussion video thingy about this match, just because this was our finals this past weekend for I guess people in chat, and it was Nico and I was playing Saekano. He was on SMP, but the deck he was playing was actually from the one, the only, the national champion, Carmen. I don't know his last name.
Condalucci.
Yeah, Condalucci or whatever. And it ended up in finals against each other. And we were like, oh, let's just have Carmen come on and like we can talk about the match, because afterwards Nico got obliterated because he was really good at taking 8 damage straight, which you guys will find out soon.
Hell yeah.
So we were trying to figure out like if he did anything wrong or anything like that. So
Yeah, this deck is
boomerang, damn.
This deck is a deck that I came up with. We had a Christmas event where you were only allowed to run red and green cards and 1 yellow card as your Christmas star, right? So I built this whole deck because I've always thought that like the bar top end Kamome is like kind of whatever, and like the Nanami burn is just really funny. But like the problem is all those yellow cards that go to memory suck. So I was thinking, oh, let's just like cheat cards into memory with this like the only red time back row that you can put together, which is like Brainstormer and that 1-0 that you'll see, which I'm sure puts in a lot of work. It always does.
Unfortunately, not in this match.
Not in this match? Okay.
It did put in work the entire rest of the day.
But yeah, that's like the only mono red time back row that can support the Umi early play. So, yeah, that's like where this whole deck idea came from, and I don't know, I like tuned it and like made it into a real deck, and it's like surprisingly pretty potent. I think I'd make a couple changes. I think the Umi Bonder, the promo, probably deserves like a look for it, but you know, that's besides the point.
Yeah, so I mean, is there anything else we need to say before we just jump in? We can just jump in the game, or
Yeah, I think we can just start.
No, I think that's it.
oh wait, I'm gonna post some I mean, hold on one second. I'm gonna post something really quick.
But yeah, speaking more on that back row, it's just so good to like have it reveal 2 damage and then you burn for 2 with Nanami.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
that shit was annoying too. Holy
it
crap!
lets you confirm a burn for 2 on your first attack.
Or the other play I made was top check the top card of my deck with the Shiroha Brainstorm, and then top check with the back row, and then you can also confirm damage that way. God, like, why can't that fit into the real deck?
Yeah, it's like the best card that I don't think the win standby build can support at all, because you run the 2-1. But yeah, I think that the difference between that and like the cards like Canary that like scry your opponent's top is like you just repeat it and it's a back row, and it like fulfills your time condition and stuff, so has other use.
Nico, you're a boomer apparently. Let us. I guess we'll just jump in the match now. I think everything's set. I assume the sound is good because no one said anything was messed up. So, all right. Do you guys want to just watch this at normal speed, or how do you want to do this?
I think normal speed's probably better for stream, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually when we record these videos, we do it in 1.5 speed, I think. But yeah, yeah, we'll just jump in. Wait, you guys. Oh yeah, you guys can see it, right? As in Nico and Carmen. You guys can see the screen and everything?
Yeah, we got you.
All right. So yeah, during the Swiss rounds at our locals, I actually lost to Nico because he's too good of a player.
That game was interesting. It's a shame we didn't record that game because I think that game could have also provided a decent discussion.
Yeah, you know, I have I got a bigger memory card now, so maybe we should just record every like one match every round at our locals. But I don't know if we need to go through all those games. So yeah, I mean, like this is a super standard opening for Saekano at least. I got pretty lucky with being able to discard a 1-0 and play the on reverse rookie, which is nice. So it lets me mulligan a little easier for the gold bar.
Ooh. You got everything but the bar over there, Nico. It's like
Yeah.
a pretty good opening hand, yeah. Kamome is like, it's a surprisingly good combo. People underrate it because like it's the opponent selective effect. I guess that was, but it, like,
So a lot of
swings
the
in at
time over the
7-5.
day, yeah, a lot of the time over the day, the Komomi just like revealed a climax and then a good card. I'm like, cool. I guess I get the good card.
Yeah,
Thanks.
when they don't get to pick. Yeah, that's the best. Triggering your one of.
Yeah.
Pretty bad. Ricky's Ricardo, of course. Yeah, this is pretty good for you
Yeah.
in general. Because you have the Brainstormer in hand, so like you pay one out with the Kamome, and then you pay out your one up, pay out your anti-change.
I don't actually think I pay out the anti-change because there was no reason to almost this game.
Yeah, I guess against Saekano, you don't need it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I just mainly went for like free compression if I'm remembering correctly.
Oh, is Kate gonna Eagle Screech you? Do you have the climax?
I don't have the climax.
I almost heard. I almost heard the American national anthem playing in the background.
Almost. So it was unfortunate here that like the last card he played was 2k power, so I'm forced to attack with the runner second. Otherwise, I normally would have attacked with it last because just
Yeah,
to
you
remove.
see, Carmen, I'm a good player.
Yeah, you're a good player. I mean, I believe in you to get the bar anyway.
Yeah, but yeah, usually I'd like attack last there because it makes
was gonna say.
there's less choices for my opponent to pick from, or hopefully I knock out cards that he would want. But the 2k power makes it so I have to attack with the last against the last lane, the against the drop salvager or whatever it was. Since what is it? Utaha gains 1k when another character attacks. Also, this is one of the few matchups that my mill runner can kill something at 0.
Yeah.
Feels good.
Kamome is pretty small.
Yeah, so I initially was like, man, maybe I should just go for another, what is it, like the on death Ricky or whatever. But then I was like, nah, I'm probably just gonna get hit to 1, so I should just try to get ready for the level 1 turn.
So you took a Kamome combo, the 1-0?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think I have 2 in hand right now.
Oh,
you see
you
me top deck the
player
card
alert.
because I'm a good player.
Good player. Oh, okay. All right, so yeah, so like the big problem that like you kind of run into in the early game is like I kind of said all the yellow cards that just like automatically go to memory and like filter you or whatever are all kind of whatever. So like it requires you to just like kind of play those Rickies and like run them out and like sort of crash them in pretty early so like you have enough memory to like eventually pop off at your end game because sometimes you do need to burn for 4.
Yeah.
Although you're typically burning for 2s because you're going to confirm them. I'm actually really surprised. I'm always really nervous about hitting the 1-0. Like I almost maybe would have Rickied, but you can't because it's Kamome. So I guess you'll probably get it here, or like maybe extended myself to get into the 1-0 back row. But this is still pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I milled the climax easy. No
Middle of the
problem.
climax.
So yeah, this gets front attacked, so I just go ahead and do this because I mean the runner has utility later in the game, so
It's like pay 1, go to memory, do whatever,
It's the
right?
best.
Oh yeah, and then here's the one where he.
I look at this and I go,
Don't
"This is
the
the
good
support.
card."
Get
He's
rid
like,
of
"Nah,
that
you
shit."
can take the Musashi.
So the reason I did that was when we played earlier in Swiss, I remember this card being really annoying, and then later on we could talk about it afterwards. But I realized I really hate that card, and I think it helped win the game too much.
Yeah, that card is good player, Nico. Reveal climax and a good card. Okay, so that Samugi 3/2 is like the best card that no real build can play.
Yep.
That thing is so nasty. Like, so if you so the like god hand, right, is like you have 3 nonamies somehow, you clock one, and then if your first one gets the gate, you play the Samugi and like summon the other one from clock.
That's happened a couple times in
Yeah, it happens more often than you think. Kid eats
Then
it.
yeah, he gives me the Tsumugi, and he kind of regrets it a little bit later, but not too much.
You don't have any storehouse. Okay. That was the other thing I was thinking too, is like I play if like you kind of like got into like the god Kamome hand. But like sometimes when I can't get there, I kind of go for the Samugi stuff.
No, I've had to use Storehouse like in some of my previous matches. I think at one point there was 3 storehouses in my memory.
Was it this
Yeah, I
game?
mean,
Or
It might have been this game. I think this game I only get 2.
Storehouse is just kind of like I think it's 10 times better in this build than it is in the build with the level 1 combo that uses it. Cuz like I don't know. Card's like fine. It goes to memory. It's a card for Nanami. That's the main reason.
Yeah.
And it does something meaningful. It keeps your Kamomes relevant throughout the game, since they swing in base at 7/5 for no reason with the climax. If you happen to get it again, like for
A lot of the
everything-
times with the back row, they'll be 8K too. So
Yeah,
that
so it's
really adds up after a while. Like with 2, they're swinging in a 9K, which is like, you know, you're tying most of your boards, you know.
it's like it's surprisingly potent. Like at level 2, like you wouldn't think it is as relevant as it is, but I mean it's bar. It's gonna be in your hand, right? Like
Yeah.
gives you a reason to keep playing it.
yeah, it's really weird too because I was in an awkward state here. I didn't have a gold bar for my level 1 combo. I think is that what happened here, and so I think this is the turn where I filled 2 entity 1/0s. After, if you remember when you got blown up in Japan by this deck, Carmen.
Oh god!
I put it in the deck.
Every single oh no, that card, the one that just kills freaking
Level 2s, yeah.
Oh my god, that Eriri was like, shout out to that guy at what is it? Where that was up
Kita
in,
Senju.
yeah, Kita Senju. Yeah.
Tetsuya, I think is the shop.
Yeah. That was it. It was God, that card is so good against standby decks. It makes sense why they run it.
Yeah. Before I was considering playing the Power Pumper, and then when you lost to that, I was thinking about it a lot. I'm like, the only decks I'm afraid of with this deck are like weird decks that just dump a bunch of 2/2s on the board. So I was like, this card seems like it'll just fill that slot better than the Power Pumper.
I went 3-1 at every event I played in Japan, and I only lost to Fate and Saekano. Like, those are the only decks I lost to when I over there. Because everybody was getting in their last games of Fate before the ban list went into effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Saekano is... I actually almost bought this deck recently, but I was too afraid that it was going to get hit by the ban list.
It's
And
probably going to get hit before WGP this year.
Yeah,
so.
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Luckily, I actually like this series, so I don't care. But it just worked out that the set went from like mediocre tier to like top tier now.
If I was invested in set 1 at all, I would have definitely just easily bought into this because I do like the show. So, but all right, so
I know we've also spent a little bit of time before this talking about long turns in Weiss Schwarz. Kit's been going at it for a good little bit now. Just wanted to point that out.
Look, man, this hand was
And
awkward.
he still does
what
not.
do you
There
want
he
from
goes.
me?
There's the front row.
I think you were very surprised. See, I don't drop a climax here. I think I dropped the gate. If I do drop a climax, did I at all? No, I didn't. Just go in. So yeah, luckily this is a 6/5 on attack whenever or during my turn if I have memory. So I'm actually able to clear his board, which was a little bit worrisome because if you get another gold bar and I can't clear your board, I just like gave you super plus. Then I was forced to field one of the Utahas, but luckily I have wait, is it Utaha? I don't remember everyone's name. It's so confusing.
Are you talking about the back row?
No, the boring girl. I don't like her.
What? That's Kato, dude.
Kato, there we go.
Yeah,
Yeah, Kato. Yeah. Luckily, I have the
Make
still have
your
it.
deck work. That card's broke.
Look, I don't like the character,
No, dude,
man.
playing against this deck in Japan, it's like I like triple Shiraha kit. We're like playing a friendly game. I'm like playing Summer Pockets in this deck because he's like, oh, you might play against this at WGP finals. I didn't, spoiler alert. But he plays down like triple Kato and he just like sides me 3 times, like triggered like double soul on twin drive every single time. Sides over me for 2. It's like, damn, that card's busted. All right, so what are you looking here for? Or what are you looking for here? Blech. Off this. Get the back row? Or... Ooh, okay.
No, I think I was trying to get the event. Or wait, no. What was that? Oh, no. I was going for stock. That's what I was going for, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So the Samugi... So, like, people probably don't know what these cards do. They've probably never seen these Summer Pockets cards no one plays. So that Samugi, if it reverses... Is it anything or is it level 1?
It is anything. So if
Yeah,
anything is
anything.
reversed when the event is in memory, you get to blind stock.
Yeah, the event's got to be in memory. This is probably the best card that has to have the event in memory. Everything else is kind of whatever.
Yeah, Christian, that card was pretty sick. A lot of people were just kind of like running into that card over the course of the event, and I was like, oh, I don't think I'm supposed to be getting this much stock, but here I am.
Because people think about it like, oh, it's like just a 5k, right? They just crash it. It's just like you just blind stock off the top. Pretty good.
See, the counter to that though is just to tell him, yeah, blind stock that gate, blind stock that gold bar.
I remember when like I was first like building Summer Pockets, and I was like, oh, like green's like pretty cool. And I was talking to people, it's like, oh, there's the storehouse engine, but no one runs that. That's not good enough. But it is green. I do think the combo with the Samugi is like actually bad. It's like a Minami. But the Kamome is like, you know, a lot better.
Yeah, the Kamome is like, so even if your opponent plays like the standby wall up game, you know, you still get your plus. Well, not plus, but you know, you still get a card back, so it works out pretty well. Ooh, so here's the good stuff. I think I refresh another Tsumugi, and I have another event, so I think I just go for double Tsumugi.
That's so
yeah, you
nasty.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice. Yeah, like I put that in there, like mostly because it's a card that goes to memory. But the more that I played it, I was like, damn, this is just like actually just a great green card. It's like
I kind of wish it was able to grab events, and you see I'm a good player there, and spend
Yeah.
the climax in there.
because it can't grab any card like Bar Filter can feel kind of bad sometimes.
Oh, this might actually be a misplay by you, Nico. So it's really I like with this field setup. I just want the Utaha back, or not Utaha, the Kato back, right? No matter what. So maybe. Well, I
Yeah,
guess
you're right. I probably should have thought about it a
Yeah,
little bit
'cause
more on the positioning there.
There's no way I would have used it on the entities unless you attack there first with like the coin flip and just like crash into me for some reason.
Yeah.
I think I actually just wasn't thinking, like, I don't think I actually noticed your back row there. So when you used the effect, I was like, oh crap, that card does exist, huh?
You trigger a gate and unfortunately bury it with your free stock.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. And
Yeah,
I
I was
didn't
gonna
get a nice
ask about
return
that
off of
too.
it either.
The fact that you put Samugi in front of Kato, but yeah. Now the real question: are you a good enough player for Umi to pop back to your hand?
Oh no, I've been like, Umi hated me.
Yeah, there we go. That's a Summer Pockets classic. I remember from
Umi
my match-
hated me
Yeah.
all day. I just
Dude,
remember
no.
saying,
No,
like,
no, no.
wow, imagine coin flips actually passing.
The second that you sit down and say, "I'm gonna play Umi in my Summer Pockets deck," she loses her ability to pop back. Like at Nats, I think she popped back twice all day. like in general. That still a great card.
I think that's universal for every Summer Pockets player because I've talked to Ryan Wibberley about it, and it's the same thing for him.
Yeah, Web's just like, Umi can pop back? No way. That's the main reason I didn't buy foils of that card in Japan. I was like, this card has fucked me so many times. This card doesn't deserve to be foil.
Oh, this is when I told Nico to please put a climax on top of my deck for this brainstorm because I really need a search. And luckily, Nico's such a kind guy.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh, I think we're approaching the good turn.
I think this is the good turn.
This is where I think. So I think the previous turn had the mistake of letting you get the Kato back to hand. But I think this is the turn that kind of puts the game into a very difficult position for me, to say the least.
Yeah. So yeah, you give me the brainstorm, and I think my hand already has two Kato level ones. So like this just lets me have the third one, and it lets me clear your board as well. So it's like no reason not to do this play.
How big does Kato swing in again?
Without support,
5 or
6/5.
7/5?
Yeah, 6/5 without support. But if you have the 1/0 in the back row, it's usually 7K.
Yeah, so like when I was building and like playtesting this deck or whatever, because for some reason we decided to take the Christmas event very seriously. The biggest thing is like you kind of play a little bit like Bang Dream with this list. You kind of like surrender board for the most part.
Yeah.
Every single turn.
Until people just crash into your Tsumugi and you're just like, wait, I'm not supposed to keep board.
Yeah.
Why do I get to keep board and get free stock? Okay, yeah, so here you drop down the early play, too.
dropped the early play because I see you at 1/6, which means you can't play the counter if you have the anti-early play counter. So I remember doing that as well.
If you paid attention, sir, that's the first card of my
Look,
stock.
you act like I pay attention to locals.
Oh no, the change train.
Yep.
Oh, it's
My
so
favorite.
good.
My favorite part of playing against Saekano.
I kind of wish you could see my face as I'm like looking through all these cards that just randomly get to go to Kit's memory, and I'm just counting them like 6, 7, 8. Ooh, nice. And here we go.
Oh no, is this the turn?
This is the turn.
Oh,
So
no.
I eat 3 there, so I'm like, all right, yeah, no problem. That's fine. I kind of triggered a climax and threw a climax in the clock.
Oh no.
Twin drive here.
Wind drive. 3. Oh no.
And yeah, I'm a bad player, so I just kind of eat 8
Yeah.
damage here. So
Yeah.
really bad on my part.
Definitely your biggest misplay of the day. Eating 8 straight.
Oh no.
So I had a pretty like confused expression on my face at this point. I'm like, all right, this is how the game's gonna go. All right, we gotta come up with something here.
You did draw the back row. I don't think you
So-
have Umi in hand, right? Umi's in
No.
grave. I saw her in grave.
No, so for this turn, I believe I make the level. So I clock the 3/2 Shiroha, and because it's like the only level 3 I had outside of the Tsumugi, and then I play the Tsumugi and heal the Shiroha to the stage. So this is where my other misplay happened. So I just always thought of I barely ever played the Shiroha, and I was just always like, this is a Musashi, and I forgot it had this line of text that says it can pump 1500 power randomly. So the Kato gets to live this turn, which is my other play of the game.
Yeah, unfortunately, like, it is a May effect. You could target whatever, so.
Yeah. So, and I kind of identified it like right after the game. I'm like, I forgot this card has this effect, so that was on me. But yeah, so there's the play right there.
God, that Tsumugi's so gross. I wish that you could support
Yeah,
that.
and then I
in any real build.
slam down that support. Unfortunately, I got it at level 3 and not
Yeah.
earlier. So I think I revealed the climax and I put it.
Yeah,
up
you put it on
top.
top, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I put the Musashi in the list. Because for those finisher turns, you can play Musashi into someone's climax on the top of their deck
Oh
and
yeah, that's
get a
pretty
bit
cool.
of value. But it's such an edge case most of the time. I didn't think it was like worth more than one slot.
So there's the climax train.
All of them? Is it starting?
I don't think I double trigger, but I might.
Okay. Umi.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is the turn where Kid triple cancels too, so that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, he does
So
that.
yeah, I ate 8 damage and Kid proceeds to triple cancel here, and then so for the next turn,
Did you
Kid is
miss a
gonna.
Musashi trigger?
No, he played it from the clock, so he doesn't
Yeah,
get it.
Oh yeah, he
doesn't
does
get the
Yeah.
effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
this turn too. I was really surprised. I didn't get hit to level 3. I just like triple canceled. I think I only had 4 climaxes left in deck. 4 or 3.
Oh, that makes me feel so
Yeah.
much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember I was really happy I triggered the level 3 Kato, because I was like, oh, I get to change next turn and move this 2-1 up in the front row.
Yeah, so I think Kit spends. I think this is a turn that takes a little while. Kit spends his turn kind of like correcting his deck because I think he plays like the runner that goes to memory and then you mill 4 and stuff, and I think you
Yeah.
brainstorm too. So yeah.
Yeah, I think you asked me right here, like, what's the first line of text say? I'm like, you can pump 1500 power.
Yeah.
When this deck, if you whiff level 2 with this deck, it does feel really bad. Because Umi is the one way that you really start throwing cards in memory. And, like, she's healing to memory, so you have this, like, giant stock for Nanami. Because, like, Nanami, at the end of the day, it's a meme card. You can pop, for those of you that are familiar, you, like, pop any number of cards from memory for effect and pay 2.
Oh, I
It's
guess
like
I
pay
had
2,
5.
pitch 2, pop any number of cards from memory. You, like, burn for the amount times 2 of the cards you pop. So Umi kind of helps you put cards that wouldn't be in memory into memory because a lot of the friggin' yellow cards, like I said, kind of suck.
Yeah. So Umi did put in a lot of work in like most of the games outside of this one.
Yeah,
but that's just because like in this one, as you just saw, I skipped level 2, so there was couldn't really do that.
Oh no, that thing. That thing gives me nightmares.
Do that face, man.
Yeah, that's the
face of death.
Yeah,
that's the face of nightmares.
Like, oh, pay 1, ditch 1, put this card into memory, remove a card from my deck. Cool.
Yeah.
Saekano's a pretty cool deck. I think I count Kit's memory like towards the end of the game here, and I think he had like 8 or 9 cards in memory. I'm like, wow, so cool. Non-interactive zone.
When I came back from Japan, I was telling people about like, oh, I was like playing like, what was the set you played against most? Like, oh, I played against Saekano a ton. They're like, what's that deck do? And I was like, oh, I don't know, send 24 cards to memory.
Yeah,
kill it. better have stock swap, idiot. Like, there's no other way.
Stock swap doesn't even do anything against Saekano. Like, look at him. He has like 3 stock a turn. What's stock swap gonna do?
Yeah, when they can just pay out their stock pretty aggressively to send their cards to memory.
Yep.
Oh, I cancel on 3 here, so I get a little bit of that good player syndrome.
Ooh, there we go.
But then I eat damage.
So yeah, I was wondering whether or not I should do it, and then I realized I have 2 2-1s at the back row, so no matter what, next turn I have 2 level 3s on the board. So I didn't really care. I think I also had a 1-0 event in my hand, so like I have technically 3 stock next turn also. But yeah.
Alright, so I'll be honest, in the game, I think I was a little tilted at this point. I don't really remember what play I made here.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, what's your what's your thought process going into this turn, but
Because so I don't think I
Power
had any of
plane.
my like powerful level 3s available to me. I think I may play an Umi level 3 here, but I'm not entirely sure. I forget what happened this turn, so I guess
I think
we'll
this
wait.
turn you were just like, well, I gotta kind of like sack an extra turn here, because there's no way you're gonna kill me from this turn, right? So
Yeah,
I
that
think you
too.
just kind of like push up the back row or something, and you're just like, hopefully I live another turn to actually do something.
I just play the coin flip, and I think it also whiffs.
of course. Well, you know, creates that damage buffer, right?
Oh yeah.
When you whiff. It's like my anti-tilt bright side thinking. Like, oh, it whiffed. It's -1 soul. It's fine.
I need to start thinking like that.
Yeah, it's hard with with the main build of Summer Pockets, like Wind Standby or Wind whatever you want to play. It's like Umi not hitting is so terrible. You have to like really try to not tilt when she whiffs.
And half the time when she whiffs, I'm like, man, I should just play the free runner. But then I remember that card's garbage. I forget. Do I push you to level 3 this turn? I
Yeah,
think I do.
you get me to level 3, because I remember I do change into the level 3 the following turn.
Unfortunately, I don't think I get a really good refresh here because
Yeah,
you
you
know,
have
there-
a
there's
gate
a there's a
stuck.
gate in my stock, and I
Yeah.
think I have.
I think you blind stocked one also, like,
Yeah.
at some point.
I think the bar blind stocked one. So I think I'm refreshing with 6 here, but even then, my deck is actually I think I'm like 1 and 4
Oh my
or something.
god. The Kit King special.
Easy.
Refresh, cancel.
Oh,
But you always refresh a climax. That's the penalty. Damn, Nanami's in clock. Easy summon with Sugumi.
yeah.
Yeah, I think you actually did say something like that.
Oh, I triggered a gold bar off of my fresh deck. I'm like, oh my god, here we go.
Yep.
And then like I think the double trigger.
I can see it in your motions. You're like, fuck this.
Yeah, it happens.
Oh, she did pop the hand.
Yeah, this one time at level 3, I was so happy. I was like, oh boy, finally.
When it matters, creates that open lane. So I didn't see you field the bonder to the event like ever. Are you agreeing that like that's like probably the weakest card in the list?
No, actually, I think I
No?
did field the
Okay.
bonder. Did I not this game?
You didn't this
I
game,
think
because
I
you had
think
two in
okay.
hand. Like,
Yeah. So that card actually did put in a decent amount of work, and at one point I think it let me sneak out a climax from my
Yeah.
clock back to the waiting room.
Yeah, the fact that it can throw any card from your clock into the waiting room, and then it puts
No, it's not any clock. It's the bottom card of your clock.
the bottom card of your clock.
Yeah.
You can put any card. You can put a card from your Summer Pockets character from your waiting room into your clock. So it lets you do the free salvage cheese that what's it called does Ialisa.
Yeah.
I guess that's the deck that does that the most. Unfortunately, you go to 3/6 here. You can't even clock to
Yeah.
try to get anything.
And I think I made the comment to Kit too. I'm like, wow, I can't even like clock for the climax to try to sack you with Anonymity or anything.
You whiff.
Yeah, with the
Wrong
brainstorm too.
climax.
And so the first card there, believe it or not, is a climax because I remember going into my attack turn that the first card on my deck right now is a climax.
yeah, I think you just put a climax on top of my deck too. So I was like, oh, I'm definitely not dying this turn then.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is so unfortunate.
Yeah.
Damn, when you guys wanted to have me on to talk about this deck that I put together. I didn't think it would fall apart this bad.
Well, I don't even think so. I don't even think the deck really fall apart, right? I just like
Yeah.
randomly ate damage. Kit randomly canceled like all the damage.
All
But
the good Weiss
like,
Schwarz
so I
players.
would actually say this deck does run really, because I mean this is the finals too, so I had to beat
Yeah.
some people to get here. So the deck actually does run surprisingly well, and I think this might be a decent like budgety SMP build.
Yeah. All the non like standby, and I guess the Kamome bar finisher is somewhat expensive.
Kit double cancels me instead of triple cancels because
Yeah. I need to be level 1, man. I mean level 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, just clock here to get the climax. I play the event here to get an extra stock and pull and see what's left of my deck. Another healer as well.
I'm just having flashbacks from Japan playing against this deck.
Yeah, this deck is super sweet. It's also pretty broken.
It's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
The finisher is just like, I don't know how that combination of effects doesn't break the, you know, whatever the Weiss vanilla tests are. So it's like what? It's like a 13-5 with climax on reverse. It's like pay 1, burn 2, right?
Yep.
Or,
It's just so cost efficient and just so weird.
It's hex proof. Like,
Whoa,
for
whoa,
no
whoa,
reason.
buddy! Listen, he needs to throw cards in his memory, which his
Yeah.
deck isn't very good at.
You need 4 cards in memory, dude. That's a lot.
oh no, they're like just. I thought of those 3 gates. The end of your deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, so yeah, that's the game, I guess. If it was a game.
I mean, it was a game.
Yeah. But yeah, I really that list was like really cool to play against. It kind of sucks because unlike you, Carmen, our locals are twice a month.
Yeah.
So we don't
can't
get as
have
many
4 times a
cool
week.
Yeah, we don't get as many cool opportunities to just like play really like, out there lists. This is probably part of the reason why like Dean like never tops at our locals because he always shows up with the most wackiest shit. And then, but yeah,
Yeah, no, I'm glad. I'm glad someone else enjoyed that list because, like, I really think Summer Pockets has like a lot of really cool, awesome cards and awesome effects. And because everyone is like, Shiroha's just like the hottest shit ever, right?
Well,
Like
yeah.
everybody just runs that card, and they just don't think about anything else in the set, and it's just like, damn, I also really love Shiroha, but what if we played literally anything else and tried to build a deck? So I'm glad someone else enjoyed the list, because, I don't know. I also really love Kamome, so...
well, let me tell you, I did not enjoy losing it to it in Swiss. Was it round 1 I lost to you, or was it was round 2,
I
right?
think it was round 2.
Okay, yeah.
Damn, wait, how'd you beat Saekano with this deck? I feel like
Okay,
this deck
so
has
I mean,
struggled
we
so
can do a
hard.
little bit of discussion on it. So I
Yeah,
literally
yeah.
like side attacked for most of the game, and then Kit had no memory. And then at one point he had to
okay,
crash
okay,
his
okay.
board of drop searchers in. I
Yeah.
canceled, and then like since he was still on first deck, like I just slammed a climax, and on the backswing he ate a fuck ton of damage.
Yeah, it was really weird because like I crashed board or whatever, which I felt fine with because I was putting my deck into like a good state because I was forcing myself to refresh that same turn. But like there was like a turn or two where it's just like he'll move a climax to the top, I'll cancel once, and then I'll eat everything in the next 2 lanes and then draw a climax, and I'm like, what just happened?
Yeah,
So-
that 1-0 back row actually came in clutch against him,
Yeah.
which is
I
why
think-
he gave me the Musashi instead of it.
Yeah, I think every turn you put a climax on top of my deck, like almost every turn, except for like there was a turn where you top check 2 and you're like, oh sweet, burn 2, and I was like, well, I guess this is sticking.
Yep.
You know, I can't wait for Andy to hear this because he's been on this canary train, and he's gonna say, "Look, dude, looking at the top of your opponent's deck is so good. It's so good."
I mean,
But,
it's
yeah,
it's
so
pretty
in my
true.
initial build of Goblin Slayer, I think I ran Canary. Like the
Mhm.
card wasn't bad, and I would still try to maybe run it. The problem is you have just like so much other better cards that are more
that's my
impactful in the
problem.
deck that you just can't fit Canary in there.
I think that like people who want to try this SMP build or something similar or whatever, like the two coolest cards in the deck that real meta decks, I guess that some meta decks that like run Nanami, some run like Shiroha and the Gate. They can support the on her lap, the Umi and Shiroha, the one that checks top 2 and you can rearrange your opponent's deck. But like mostly like you can't play that card, the back row, and you can't play the Samugi that summons from clock. And like I don't know, that card has a first effect that doesn't fucking matter. If you have like a Shizuku or a Hyri, like cards that are completely unplayable, she gains power, but the big thing is she just summons a card out of clock and you can just summon level 3s. Which is like really, really good, and like no real meta deck can support that. Even like the 8-bar builds can't support it. So but yeah, I'm really glad you enjoyed the list because
yeah, thank you for giving me that list, dude. So I'll also be honest. When you first linked me the list, I was like, this kind of looks like a pile, but I'll play it.
Yeah, right. Like it's surprisingly good.
And then I played it. I'm like, wait a minute, this actually runs really well. What's going on?
I think the secret is that the Kamome combos, these like your opponent chooses combos, are just actually fine because they swing too big. Like for some reason, this Kamome just swings for 7/5, which is bigger than any of the on reverse combos in the set, other than Shiroha, I guess. But you know, Shiroha's cheating. She's a 2/1.
Yeah.
None of the other on reverse combos swing that big, and because you're running Storehouse as well, I think I mentioned this earlier, you get to like leverage that value later in the game too. If you like get another bar, you can just play it again, loop it and loop it and loop it until you get to your end game.
Yeah, I wonder why. Like, I think it was mostly in the West they did not like that gold bar combo. Japan was on it for quite a while. I don't know if they're still on it.
The level 1 or the level 3?
The level 1.
I mostly see like win bar
now
coming out of Japan for summer pockets. They hate the standby finisher, and like the Kamome level 3. I can't remember exactly. It's the bar where it's like a sepia tone.
Yeah. So the combo is like pay 1, either stock swap your opponent or you get clock kick.
Now, theoretically, that's great, but
so every time I've run it, it felt underwhelming. Like,
yeah, that was my problem with it. It just like never works. And I'm just like, wow, why would I ever play this over
like a standby that has like modular damage, stops count, lets you play standby, which lets you sack harder, etc., etc.
Well, and the big play, it's just like I can't tell you how many times that the winning play of the game, no matter how many times I'm playing Summer Pockets, is at level 2, my opponent has this like ludicrously compressed deck, and the play is standby out Icy Tail, pay 1, stand it, pitch 2, destroy my opponent. Like, that shit is so good. It's like that package has so much more utility. It lets you play reactively. Whereas the Kamome bar finisher is like, it wants to be proactive, but like, what if you get to level 3 second? Then the other part of the card is useless. What if they can literally get over 12k? Oh, well, I guess my card doesn't work because it's a clock.
I think that was like actually one of the problems I ran into when I was playing it. I was playing against like Wally decks, so I'm like, oh, cool, this is a nice 12k. I can't actually like clock kick and kill my opponent.
Yeah, and people are always telling me, it's like, oh, it's because it's better against a standby meta. And it's like, what are you talking about? It just doesn't work. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that if you're playing into stuff like that, I think Nanami is, like, really underappreciated. I think the Nanami finisher is actually really, really good. It's like, she clears whatever lane she's in. She swings at 16 if you do the combo. Like, that's like ludicrous. She clears whatever.
I think the problem with Nanami is like she's just so expensive, and even then, like in the normal meta deck, how like your memory count is usually really, really low.
Yeah. So, interestingly enough, the European winner from Rome played Wind Gate. So if you're interested in like how that sort of build looks like. You can check her list out. It's out there somewhere. It might be on like Wild Wild Weiss. I can't remember exactly where it was posted.
Yeah, I think she posted it on Wild Wild Weiss.
Yeah, so I think she had an interview.
Yeah.
And that list was like super cool. I just think that I just really hate that yellow Shiroha Zero that pops to memory, and like filters you and like salvages a card. I just think that card's like completely trash, and that's the card that everyone runs to enable Nanami. And that was like the thing I was trying to sort of, I guess, prove with this deck list is like you don't have to play those cards that are kind of bad and just like feel like garbage to play this like kind of good finisher. It's like overcosted, but I think the big thing with it is the list compresses well enough where it's just like the top check 3 will like probably hit. You're like not gonna whiff your combo. You can like get this off every single game, and it's always gonna kill what's in front of it. Doesn't matter what your opponent's doing. If your opponent can beat 16, like I don't know, they deserve it, I guess.
I mean, your opponent might be playing Bunny Girl.
Ugh, I guess.
Double what's her face in the back row, Futaba in the front. Be like, that's a nice
God.
16k, dude. And I have this Nito 3/5 counter. I'm 18k, and you just kind of like, just like the saddest guy in the world after that.
If that deck can sack into that board, then I guess they deserve to win the game.
You haven't played against Kit King, have you?
Yeah, just give me whatever second deck you need. I'll draw into it. Oh, okay. Speaking of sack, when I had the Konosuba deck, I had 3 signed unions and I didn't have a 4th, and I refused to play a non-signed union the first time I had the deck. So when I went to locals, I said, "Screw it! I'm just gonna play 3 unions." You know how many times I got triple union off that tournament?
Yikes!
I think like 3 of my like 6 games that day I got triple union off. Most of them I got double. I was like, this is so stupid.
Konosuba's a pretty cool deck.
Oh man.
So going back to the Summer Pockets list, which I keep doing because it's my list. So the thing that I would want to change with this list if I changed anything, I think the Umi PR Bonder is the only thing that I would ever try to put in the list outside of this. But I would never know where to put it. But Nico, now that you've played it, what would you cut, do you think, to put that card in the list?
How many of the Bonders do you want to run, like just as a one of?
I mean, 1 or 2, I think, right?
Okay. If we're just running one of, I think you cut one of the event Bonders and just run 2 event Bonders.
That's where I was at.
But like honestly, the list feels kind of like really good where it's at right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even know if. I guess obviously we can explore it, but I don't even know if Umi Bonder's worth it.
Yeah, I guess I'll post the link in the chat, but I'll post the link to the version I actually played at the Christmas event, because this was very interesting. I actually played that 4K center lane card because it was red.
Oh wow!
And this was a lot more of a pile because I didn't have access to other stuff, mostly the Umi coin flip and stuff like that. We were running like the Shiroha bomb that's like garbage, and other stuff, but this is like where that list came from and where it was tuned from. So just wanted to bring that up. There are some other cards in Summer Pockets that are pretty good. I really don't think that 4K center lane only is actually that bad, but there's just a lot of anyone who's invested in Summer Pockets, I really implore you to actually take a look at your play set instead of just playing like Shiroha X, because there's a lot of really fun stuff in this set that's really underrated.
You could also just invest into Sunshine and play the better version of Summer Pockets.
Oh god.
Yeah, hold on, buddy. Hold on. That's until the Reflection Blue set comes out. Once Reflection Blue comes out, oh boy, you better be terrified.
I hope, all I want from Reflection Blue is a level 1 combo that's good enough to compete with Shiroha. Not even to be good as Shiroha, but compete with Shiroha and like maybe be on gate. Because there are so many good cards in this set that you can never fit because Shiroha eats 8 slots in your deck. It's like really, really unfortunate.
Yeah.
which is why like people trash on the deck all the time. People trash on some, like I've seen people trash on Summer Pockets so much is like, this is just a random high roll deck. Like you might randomly win, but it's bad. And I'm just like, no, the top end is like super modular. You can do so much stuff. Like, yeah, if you like only get
I mean,
one
they're right, but I
Shiroha-
feel like at the same time, when you're saying it's like you just high roll and win, a lot of the times it feels like I don't even know why we're having a Summer Pockets discussion now, but it feels like so. It's almost like the AOT conundrum. I would think you like a level like you are aggressively mulliganing for the combo.
Mhm.
It's like you might like keep a coin flip or something, but a lot of the times you're discarding everything because you really need that win.
100%, yeah.
And I think maybe a lot of the people just might not get that when they say it's like it's a randomly high rolly deck, because at that point you can almost say like anything's a random high rolly deck.
Yeah. I really hope Reflection Blue brings something to the table that can actually compete with Shiroha, so that people start like thinking about more of the set. Because there's a lot of like really unique, very powerful effects in the set that no one's really considered. Primarily in like green and red, the colors that like don't really fit outside of the like directed standby twin stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really cool stuff there that's unexplored.
All right, I think what we wrap this up, I guess. Unless you guys have anything else you want to drop on about Summer Pockets.
No, I think I'll shut up now.
Well, I mean, this was kind
I
of
guess
fun.
I'll actually plug to the game. Game's
Oh
on
yeah,
Steam,
the
Go
game's
buy
on
it.
Steam. Yeah, I know. I've been watching or
Support
not.
the official release.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please go buy Summer Pockets. Please play it.
I would
It's,
like Key to keep releasing visual novels in the West. Thank you.
Yeah, the translation is very high quality. Yeah, if you're interested at all in VNs, you don't play a lot. I think it's a good. It's a very like vanilla, or not vanilla. I guess it's very safe for work is the right word, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's very.
It's not an Arrowgay, obviously.
Yeah, it's not an Arrowgay. It's really like feelsy. If you like that kind of stuff, you like anime like Angel Beats. I mean, like that's by Maida, right? Like all that.
Clanad,
good
I
stuff.
think, would be a better example.
Yeah, Clanad, yeah. Please check it out. It's very strong. I hope it, like, I don't know, maybe now that it's out and everything, clamoring for an anime adaptation will happen after Reflection Blue, but you know, we can only hope.
I'd like to not do that.
Let's get a Summer Pockets anime set. That's all
no.
all I want. Please feed me.
Oh, okay.
Feed
I was
me
like, I
more
remember
cards.
what happened to the rewrite anime, and I don't want that to happen to Summer Pockets.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. I guess this came up in the chat. What are you hoping for in the second set? Yeah, basically just a mid-game combo that can compete with Shiroha is all I'm really looking for. To open up slots in the deck. That's really it.
I would like us to get Saekano 2.0, personally, for that mid-game combo. I'd also like to just be able to send half of my deck into memory for no real reason.
That's a pretty good.
That's
Call.
me, though.
A free fresh counter. Like, a way to free fresh my deck would be very, very nice. I feel like that's something in Summer Pockets I always feel like I want, and I just can't have. So literally any access to that effect would be great.
You guys start with English or JP? How was the transition to JP if you did start with English Weiss? So I think, well, I actually don't know about you guys, but I started on JP Weiss because my local scene was originally from Southern California, and then there was a Japanese card shop there that had this game, and I was just like, oh, anime, waifus, all right, I'm in. And now here I am, unfortunately, still playing this game.
I started with English for like a week or something. So I was stationed in Korea with my buddy. He introduces me to this card game. It's like, dude, it's an anime card game. You can play sets like Kantai Collection and stuff. So he decided to buy like the Meta Kantai Collection deck, and I bought like I think it was Angel Beat. and I
You had
couldn't
such a
play
fun
the game.
time, huh?
Yeah, I couldn't actually play the game. I was like, this game is not fun at all. And then we went to the Korean locals there, which was really fun. And from there, I think I picked up the old rewrite deck of 8 Gate and expanded from there. Fuck my buddy, though. Shoutouts to my buddy Mario. He decided to be like, yeah, I just really like the Tuloveru anime, and I'm going to pick up Tuloveru. And then he picked up Girlfriend Beta because he liked the art too. So that was my practice partner for a lot of the Weiss in my initial foray into the game.
So I'm coming from the other side. Our scene in Pittsburgh was English only forever, and only recently has started allowing JP. It's sort of like a push by me and some of our other players, mostly because Pittsburgh's really spoiled. We play like 3 to 4 times a week, like official events at locals. So because we're so spoiled and because we play so often, like when we were English only, you know, that kind of devolves into like, these people are playing Konosuba this week. Guess the rest of us are playing AOT because we don't want to deal with Konosuba. Like, you know, it starts to create that loop so that we're kind of like, oh, well, like this entire rest of the game exists. And some other players were kind of getting like, they had like their favorite anime that they wanted to play. So we were like, oh, it's like really dumb to tell these people that they can't play what they love. So just like kind of let them play whatever they want. And it's been a lot more casual, like going forward, which I guess is what like locals are for, I guess. You want to get as many people playing as possible since Weiss is such a small game. So the transition to JP, again, this is like so weird for me considering my situation, where I didn't play much and like now it's a big part of what I play. But I guess the biggest transition is when you're playing JP, it's a much more wide open format. So you can really like kind of mess with stuff and like play what you love if you think that it's good and you can make it work. Whereas English is very directed, very strict, and there's like not a lot of wiggle room. So it's like being more open-minded in the JP format is really good for like your locals to be more fun week after week, especially if you play pretty often. So, but I guess that's sort of a unique viewpoint.
No, I mean, yeah, that's usually most people's arguments when they say they want to play JP. Just there's like way more variety, and the power level for the most part is relatively even across the board. Like if you have a set that was like made within the last like 3 years, your deck is like good enough that it could like win local events easily. It's when you start playing at the really really tippy top is when like then you can actually start making meta calls like randomly. Like yeah, everyone's going to show up with 8 bar goal or 8 bar fate, so I can make decisions based on that. But yeah, but generally at local levels, when it comes to Weiss, Schwarz, and JP, is like everything is like basically a threat, so you can never really tech against anything in particular, which is kind of cool.
And like to all the people who are in these local scenes where it's like people kind of have like these bad emotional reactions to JP because they can't read the cards and stuff. I think that like of course you have to have translations when you come to like mixed events or whatever if you decide to go that route, which is what we did. But really, I think that like knowing like being able to read the card, like okay, this is just from I'm very biased to this because it doesn't really matter to me. Being able to like read your opponent's card or whatever is like probably the least important thing. It's more about like understanding the playfield you're going into because like in JP you're kind of playing around like these generalized power thresholds and sort of generalized effects. And as long as you know that and you're sort of building your lists around that, it's like literally never an issue with kind of random stuff you run into outside of like really, really random like edge case jank stuff. And I don't think people get that because like, I don't know, that's like kind of literally what I did at Nats is I was like playing off the seat of my pants, like playing very reactively. And which is like that's why the reason I brought the deck I did is so that I could react to people's kind of sort of crazy end games that I wasn't expecting because my end game was so modular. I was able to react to a lot of stuff because I wasn't as familiar with the format as some other people. So I think that in JP, as long as you sort of are familiar with sort of these generalized thresholds and effects and stuff like that, you can go really far and you don't really need to know exactly the text of your opponent's cards. So,
Yeah,
like
like
sort of react to them.
to kind of add on that, first of all, Fate's right. No one, even if they have English cards, don't read their own cards. But also,
Can confirm.
but also, like, this might be a thing with like players who come from other TCGs, like for example, Magic, because I came from Magic and stuff. Like every set has different effects that don't necessarily like follow from set to set. So you just basically had to kind of know everything. Whereas in Weiss, when a set gets made, there's a lot of like all these effects will probably be in this set. Like there's probably going to be a drop searcher. There's probably going to be a gate. There's probably just like these normal plussing combos that you see regularly. So it's definitely not always about like needing to know what the cards perfectly do against your opponent. Just kind of understand like the mechanics of the game itself. You kind of get used to it moving into JP once you like get used to playing a bunch of different sets, and then you start seeing that like all these sets like generally have like the same stuff going on for it, and then occasionally have their own unique special traits as far as like deck building goes and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like a really weird situation because I feel like because the card they can't pick it up and read it, it creates this like really bad emotional reaction in people, and they think it's just like, I don't like JP. These cards are broken. Blah 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 blah. Meanwhile, it's like English is approaching literally the exact same meta state. Like the decks that are coming out in English are like so unbelievably on the same level as what's being played in JP right now. I mean, like, come on, we have like unrestricted fate here. That's pretty good. Like the meta is really approaching the same sort of level, so it feels really silly to me when people go, it's just like, oh, I don't like JP, like what's the point? And then like the other things like, oh, I can't get the cards and stuff like that. It's just like, no, really, it's really not that different. It's really not that hard. There are a lot of resources. Just let people kind of play what they want, especially with locals. Like at locals, it's kind of like whatever.
Yeah, I mean, so like I guess for example for N is I mean what you could try doing. I mean if you want to like kind of warm up your locals to like playing against JP decks is just like buy some series that's like cheap fun deck that's not necessarily like overbearingly powerful and just like play it casually against them, and like maybe they'll like warm up more to the idea of like, oh, what if I also buy this JP deck because I really like this series or whatever, and then maybe that'll like kind of warm them up to the idea of getting into JP, and then like you kind of get them into the game that way if you want to try to build a JP scene. But like building JP scenes are always like really tough anyway.
Yeah, it's like I feel like mixed, and I know that there's a lot of been like talking out against this point where it's like, oh, well, like mixed scenes, like they don't make sense, blah blah blah. I think that the people that say that are in these like very big, thriving, super competitive, like 20+ person locals.
Wait, hold on. People are actually talking out against mixed scenes?
Yeah, I don't mean to like call out here. I think that like UA had his big video, and like I talked to him about this personally when we were in Japan. Is like sort of like the move towards English only, whereas like their scene stuff is going to be English only. And I think that's really cool when you have a scene that's so super directed and only has hyper competitive players, which is, and I'm going to make the hard read here, that's probably Strictly Broken's local scene. Is everybody really cares about the game, everybody's super competitive, English has more local events to go to, and like I get that viewpoint, but also like people are casual with Weiss Schwarz. Weiss Schwarz is a waifu card game where people want to play the anime they love and like just run it into, they want to turn their waifu cards sideways against other people's waifu cards. And I think that sort of disallowing JP turns off a lot of that stuff people like. And especially when like English and JP are like literally approaching the same level. Like there's no point to like disallow it at this point. Most of the effects that exist in JP are now existing in English. So like what's the point here? There's nothing really that crazy, other than maybe Saekano, I guess.
Well, Saekano's a completely fair deck. It definitely won't get banned.
Yeah, very fair. Definitely won't get hit on the ban list.
Yeah. Okay, we kind of like rambled off into like this thing that's not about the matches, but yeah, I guess we'll just kind of wrap this up here. Like, this was pretty cool. Maybe we'll do it again. Maybe we can do like planned ones every week or something. Do live stream with chat and then like do a match video or something or some kind of discussion with chat. I think that'd be fun. I mean, if you guys are up for it again.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Thanks for having me on, guys. I
Yeah,
really
no
appreciate
problem.
it.
We'll get Dean on too, so we can get his wild takes because I know everyone loves Dean's wild takes.
I love Dean's wild takes.
I do too.
Yeah. Yeah. This was like really impromptu. We kind of came up with this literally last night, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'll probably set up a schedule thing so that people will have a better idea and they can set reminders through YouTube to check in when it goes live. But we'll figure that out, and then maybe we'll do this like maybe weekly or something if we can get everyone together. It might get kind of tough during regional season, but we'll see what happens. Besides that, guys, I guess we'll sign out here. You guys have any shout outs? You want to drop the Pittsburgh White Shorts info here?
Yeah. So we're Pittsburgh White Shorts on YouTube, PGH_White Shorts. If you find us, that's where we are. We're slowly rolling out our JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind set review for English. So definitely check that out. It's coming out in the next couple of days. So yeah, I think that's it for me.
All right, sweet. Nico, any last words, Nico?
Eating 8's pretty cool.
Yeah. Almost as good as eating 9, right? All right, and then yeah, that's basically it. Look, also you guys, any of you that don't follow me on Twitter, I need more Twitter followers because I need more Twitter clout for no reason. So follow me at KatoriJP, please. One day I'll get more followers than my girlfriend, and then that'll be it. That's when I make it. Besides that, I guess we'll see you guys in either, I guess, a video or next time. I think we'll try to set this up again for next week, and then we'll go from there. I'm not sure if it'll be in match video, but this was kind of cool just doing this live, so we'll see. Other than that, we'll see you guys later.